Good afternoon, Auburn. My name is Robert Wilkins. This is our 12th edition of Citizens Minutes. Evening is fast approaching as another beautiful day is behind us on the plains. We had no citizens speak at Citizens Open Forum, but I felt that the $750,000 that was committed to 4 charities were well spent by the City Council.
Item 10B1 authorizes a financial contribution of $300,000 payable over 3 years in $100,000 increments to East Alabama Medical Center Foundation in support of the construction of the Center for Mental Health.
Regarding our new mental health facility that we're currently building to address the mental health needs that we see in our community. As part of our strategic planning process, we take a focused look at our community and what the healthcare needs are, and then we allocate resources to address those needs. An example of that is a freestanding emergency department that was recently built in Auburn a few years ago. We saw the need for more emergency department services, and this area was such a growing area, we made that decision to locate here, and it's been a wonderful success, and we appreciate the support of the people of Auburn for that facility. Likewise, we have seen that there's a need for increasing mental health care in our community, as evidenced by the fact that 1 in 5 Alabamians across our state at some point will face a mental health crisis, a mental health need in their lifetime. So 20% of the people in the state and our community will do that. Secondly, through our work with Auburn University, we see that many college students, as they make that transition from being in a home with their parents into the freedom that college brings, but also the stress that college brings, often face a mental health crisis, and we're there to help support them and currently do that now. In our emergency departments, we have care for people that come in with mental health needs in an emergent situation, and we often have to hold those patients in our emergency department for hours or even days to try to find a place for them to be admitted on an inpatient basis. We currently have 28 inpatient psychiatric beds at East Alabama Medical Center in Opelika, and we're running an occupancy rate there over 90% at all times, and most of the time closer to 100% full. In the last year, we're going to be close to having to transfer out or for somebody else to seek care other places of about 220 patients that were either presented at our emergency department or requested to come to our emergency department for mental health care need and transition into inpatient status, and we just don't have the room for that. And also, it's just as important, we are beginning a new psychiatric residency program to train psychiatrists, and this new building will allow us to do that. And most of the time, a lot of those doctors that are trained here will want to stay in this area. It's a wonderful area, and so they'll be here. And then finally, the space also is going to provide outpatient services. So we're combining outpatient, inpatient, and our psychiatric training for our residents, our medical residents that are there, into this one new location. So.
Item 10B2 authorizes a financial contribution of $200,000 payable over 4 years in $50,000 increments to the Career Preserve and Nature Center at Auburn University in support of the Environmental Education Building Project.
In terms of managing Career Preserve and Nature Center. Most of you may be familiar with that property north of Auburn. It is a 123 acres property. It is advancing a lot of environmental educational programs. It is nearly attracting 40,000 plus children, youth, and adults. It is 24/7, 365 days it is open, and it is really making a difference in the quality of life of, city of Auburn, Opelika, and surrounding communities as well.
10B3 authorizes a financial contribution of $100,000 payable over 3 years in $33,333.33 increments, except for the last year, it'll be $334 to round that out. Increments to the Food Bank of East Alabama in support of a new community market.
Some 30 years ago, the food bank, for which I know you're all familiar, opened its doors in the old post office building that the city had just purchased, and before the city had decided what it was going to do and become the city hall. And in those 30 years, the city has been a great supporter of the food bank. You may know it is now in its 3rd building in the Auburn Industrial Park, and the city has played a big role in making all those facilities possible. This food bank serves some 7 counties, 168 agencies, I think it is now, get their food from there. But a significant amount of food from the food bank goes to the Lee County Community Market, which we established Association called me to come to a meeting some 22 years ago, and they had a committee meeting for a while from various churches, and what they were hoping for was a combined effort in feeding the hungry in Lee County. Every day somebody was coming to the doors of the church, and they were knowing that they weren't really meeting that need successfully. And somehow or another they picked me to lead that effort in building that community market, which opened its doors then some 21 years ago. We've been in that location on Opelika Road during those years. We have distributed over 18 million pounds of food to the hungry in Lee County, which is a significant number of people. Over 20% of the people in Lee County are food insecure, over 6,000 children, over 2,000 elderly, and our current location has become so congested and the parking a nightmare. And that is particularly true because of the elderly that we serve on Mondays and Tuesdays. So we need a new building.
Item 10B4 authorizes a financial contribution of $150,000 payable over 3 years in $50,000 increments to Mercy Medical Ministry in support of a new clinic.
I'm here to represent Mercy Medical Clinic, Ministry and Clinic. 30 years ago, I was returning on a church bus from a short-term mission trip in Africa, and I was very impressed. I was praying about the privilege of doing what I do as an emergency physician here of 38 years at East Alabama, and loving going overseas to do these short-term missions, which many people in Auburn do. And it began to be a dream while I was on that bus. I was saying, all right, I'm willing to spend about $3,000, travel about 8,000 miles to serve people I've never met, but get such a thrill out of it. What about Auburn? Well, it was obvious there's a need. And no one would know better than an ER doc, because that's where everybody comes. 25 years ago, we gathered 6 or 8 people, and we began to strategize and pray about Mercy Medical Ministry and Clinic. We've been there 25 years. We serve those who are uninsured, have no insurance, and we have a large footprint in Auburn. We continue to grow literally every year for 25 years. Our clientele has grown in number. In 2022, we had 2,400 visits. In 2023, last year, we had 3,000 visits. We are on par to have 4,500 visits in 2024. We have, to this date, more than 600 brand new patients at Mercy Medical. We basically have each person who is admitted to East Alabama and who does not have a primary care physician because they have no insurance, they are given to Mercy Medical to continue the care. So we have a very significant footprint for the medical system of Auburn and Opelika, and we're very thankful to have that. We are a faith-based clinic and ministry. That is our passion. We basically try to emulate what Jesus himself did in his ministry. He saw people that may or may not respond to his message, but he gave the same compassion and care no matter what their response was to his spiritual message. But we do encourage every patient we can spiritually. We don't force anything on them, but we give them compassionate care no matter what. I've seen 2 or 3 atheists who have I've been just the best friends with, that I've treated, give them the same compassionate care that I would give anyone. We are on the precipice of building a new clinic. We've been at a present location across from Duck Sanford Stadium for 25 years leasing. But we are building a new facility. We're in a 4,800 square foot leased facility. We're going to a 10,700 square foot facility because we're busting at the seams. We need more room. The hospital has graciously given us 4 acres valued at $600,000. We have broken ground. The site prep has been done. The architect has done his work for free, probably valued at $400,000, and we are having a groundbreaking in 3 days on Friday. The budget is, the remaining budget is $3.8 million. We have been given basically 1.5 million like services to this point. So where will the money come from? God has all the money, but He will move people to provide that money. I'm here before you to invite you to be a part of this very exciting ministry. About a third of the patients we see come from Auburn, about a third come from Opelika, about a third from surrounding communities. We've been here for 25 years. We are moving to Opelika, but it's because the hospital gave us this free land. Let me tell you this, though, I'm a great citizen of Auburn. For 38 years, I've gotten all my money from Opelika and brought it to Auburn.
Citizens' questions. James asked, I see the City Council gave $750,000 to 4 charity groups. What was the priorities in order to receive this money? Well, James, I really do not have any idea of their priorities from other needed charities within the Auburn area. I just hope that the Auburn City Council will spend even more money for needed charities and less for tax benefits to large corporations, excessive vehicle purchases, excessive upper management salaries. I assume you, as much as I, appreciate our City Council giving to these 4 charities. They were well represented concerning their needs and causes. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give, per Winston Churchill. Your counsel is only as good as the information that you gather. Until Auburn's voice